Welcome back to the channel, and today someone who isn't very good at PvP, has no interest at getting better at PvP, has no vested interest in Trials of Osiris, is going to tell you how to fix Trials of Osiris. So I'm going to try to involve everybody, you know, the top tier professional players, the content creators who want to, you know, make good content and stream and carry people to the lighthouse, as well as introduce a whole bunch of casual players into the pool of players in Trials of Osiris. Now, in my vision of this world of a perfect Trials, or at least what I feel would be perfect, there has to be two sets of armors, one for a flawless lighthouse and one other set that you can get from bounties, from winning games randomly, and from the lower tier lighthouse, which is what I'm going to talk about in just a second. But first and foremost, I want to talk about the Trials types of cards. Now, I don't believe the cards are used that much. The Passage of Mercy is what everyone's going to pick up because it has that kind of free loss. You don't have to reset the card when you lose. Now, I feel like you could scrap that card altogether, and probably some of the other cards, but I want to change this Passage of Mercy into something new, and I'm going to call it the Passage of Professionalism. I probably should have thought about the names before I made this video, but this is going to be 7 wins straight and there's no free loss. You have to start at no wins and finish at 7 wins to go to the flawless lighthouse. Now, what this is going to do is the competitive top tier players, they get a chance of getting the adept weapons, the specific flawless Trials armor, and also maybe, you know, enhancement cores, enhancement prisms, and ascendant shards. This is going to be for the top tier players to enjoy, but if they lose, they don't get a free loss. They have to start again. Now, I don't know whether I want to lock the adept weapons behind this passage, but I will lock the armors, the specific armor set that is the second set of armors for the flawless lighthouse, behind this passage. That gives all these top tier players and teams and people who want to really showcase how good they are things to strive for that not everyone else can get. And also, it's a very, very big challenge to get from 0 to 7 wins against other people who are on that skill level without having to have a free loss. It also makes those godly people who carry people to the lighthouse have more of a challenge in this setup to try and get people to the lighthouse. But I also want to introduce a new card, which I think would, you know, be for everybody else, for the content creators who are just trying to carry people to the lighthouse, and for a big, massive introduction of new casual players. So I'm going to premise this with the idea that Trials needs to have freelance matchmaking. People like myself who don't play Trials very often and don't have clans, don't have teammates, you know, viable ones that are ready to play. You know, it's just me playing the game on my own. So I want to queue into freelance Trials and meet other people. This gives people a chance to make new friends, you know, make new parties, be able to run Trials every week and stuff like that, create new friendships. So all these casual players that are getting into Trials now have all these options for new people to play with and meet and stuff like that. So the new card type, haven't really got a name for this one, not going to think of one, but it's 12 or 15 wins. I haven't really decided yet. 12 or 15 wins. I'm just going to say 12 for the argument of this video. And there's going to be nothing other than 12 wins over a weekend. This will take you to the lower tier lighthouse, where you have the normal set of armors and you have the normal sets of weapons with a small chance of getting enhancement cores and enhancement prisms. And it's a lower rolled version of the armor. So, you know, let's say like 55 to 58 total, with the upper tier for the Passage of Professionalism getting between, I don't know, 61 to 66 rolled armors. Now, what this is going to do is those casual players who are playing, whether in freelance or as a group, get to go to the lighthouse. They get to feel that sense of achievement of playing all weekend and getting 12 or 15 wins. They get a chance at some armors, they get a chance at some weapons, and they have a chance of meeting new people within the freelance playlist. Now, because there's going to be an influx of casual people playing this new card type, where even if they lose, their card doesn't reset, they just have to get 12 to 15 wins, they're not really going to care about losing as much as they do right now, because there's nothing worse than getting to 6 wins and losing to a sweaty team who are Spider-Manning, jumping around, shotgunning you from 300 miles away. You know, people don't play for that reason. But if you lose, it doesn't matter, because all you have to do is get 12 wins. So all these content creators who are pub stompers, who just want to feel good and just annihilate people, they can do that in this playlist, because it doesn't affect the other person as much. And it also encourages the other person to try and probably be a little better, because they're getting stomped so hard. But they also then have a chance to also carry on and get the 12 wins on the card and go to the lighthouse anyway. There's also an easier market for content creators to take people to the lower tier lighthouse regularly. You know, people who just want to go to the lighthouse and want to get a chance at some weapons and some armor, content creators can carry them there a little bit easier because there's going to be a much larger pool of people to play against, easier matches until you get to like the last couple. But you know, it's just 12 wins overall, so even if they fail, even if they lose, they don't have to reset the card and start again. They can just continue with that team until they get 12 wins. And then the professionals, the top tier players, they have their own lighthouse, they have their own challenge. They get there, they get these souped up adept weapons, they get higher rolled specific flawless armor, as well as enhancement cores, enhancement prisms, ascendant shards on the regular. And I really think if they implemented something like this, then everybody is included in PvP, or trials I should say. You know, casual players, freelance players, you know, they have an easy card to get to the lighthouse. They get some weapons, they get some armor. Professional top tier players, you know, they just have to get a 7 win straight flawless to get to the lighthouse to get some adept stuff and things like that. So it's worth them playing the same people over and over again, the people of their, you know, skill level, to be able to go in and get all this flawless stuff. It's a sense of achievement for everybody all around. But I must say, regardless of any changes that you want to make to trials, any of my changes, I think stasis is a real problem in trials because, you know, it's all about strategic play, movement, mobility, skill. And when things are in the game that just freeze you instantly, it's just bad for a competitive game mode. It really is. And I can't feel enough for the people who play trials on a regular basis, because it must be horrible right now to try and play in this kind of stasis meta. You know, there mustn't be anything worse than losing to a lack of skill rather than skillful players, because stasis really does take that skill out of the game. And yeah, that's my ideas anyway. Couple of extra cards, introducing casual players, freelance playlist, bounties that actually reward armor. I don't even know if I mentioned that, but they reward the normal sets of armors. And yeah, that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think down below in the comments section. Thank you for watching. I've been easynow. You guys have been awesome.